Clem friends. So I'm sorry I can't be there with you guys, but here is a class we can do together. So let's get started. You guys can start in any way that feels comfortable for you. So I'm going to start seated just so you can hear me a little better, okay? Also, I don't have music on, so if you wanted to have music, you can put it out in the background, maybe super low on the TV. Actually, well, you'll have to see if you can do that. If not, you will just listen to my words and we'll flow together and we'll see how we feel. So if you want, you can start either sitting the way that I'm sitting, right, with easy legs. If you want, you can extend them out, whatever's going to make you feel comfortable. And you know options, right? You can always lie on your back if that helps you or makes you feel better. So wherever you are today, let's start, right? So if you need a couple of moments, right? Always important to make little movements, right? Depending on how we feel today. Sometimes if we have a lot of energy running through the body, we do want to make a little bit of movement. So start to see how that feels as you just start to either draw your knees into your chest if you're on your back. If you're seated like me, I'm just doing seated cat-cows to help open up my chest, see how my back body feels, and then find yourself in stillness, right? So just allow yourself to find a quiet spot, right? And that could, again, be on your back. I'm choosing a seat today. So if you're choosing a seat, remember to always ground down through your bottom as you rise through the crown of your head, pretending there's a string at the crown of my head, right? And start to relax your shoulders a bit and just start to notice if you are seated, if your body is rocking forward or back, right? If you're lying down, see if you can just extend those arms and legs and let yourself be completely grounded on the mat. Right? We love the visual of roots growing from our back body, and you can do that even seated. Just allowing tree roots to ground down, right? As you visualize this beautiful grounding visualization of a tree. Trees are really strong, right? They have these beautiful roots that ground them down to the earth. So maybe you envision that as you come into stillness. So wherever you are, take a couple of deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. You can make it audible, right? It's always good to get that energy out through the mouth. So inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And then notice what your hands and arms want to do, right? So always remember that hands down is super grounding, right? It allows us to be here, and it's just a little press to help us feel we are present, we are grounded, we are in this space. If you're looking for more energy today, right, it's always great to flip the palms up and just relax them at your side. I'm going to choose palms down. And if you are seated, right, you start to notice, where is my body swaying, my physical body, right? Is it going back? Am I living in the past? Is it going forward? Am I hanging out in the future, right? I'm kind of a future person, so I have to really try to ground down through my bottom and lift through my head so that I can stay here with each breath. And same thing if you're lying on your back, right? Can you just allow that body to drop a little bit more? And then you start to notice, right? What does my breath feel like today? You start to notice where the breath is living, right? So if we're feeling nervous or anxious, sometimes for me as well, my breath starts to live up in my chest. We want to just get it to come a little further down, right? So again, same thing. It's nice to close the eyes. If you don't feel safe and it's not comfortable, you can just gaze up at the ceiling or down on the ground, right? So just start to notice, right? Where does my breath live today? Every day is a different day. So just honor where we are today, right? So you're just going to start to notice, right? What does the breath feel like as I take a breath in, a breath out? And then we're going to try to do a little breath work to keep our body and mind here in the same space on the mat, right? So if you would like, I'm going to use my fingers today. You can do that as well if that's helpful. You'll inhale for 1, exhale for 2, and I'll tap my thumb. So I'm using an Ujjayi breath today. It's that ocean sounding breath where I'm taking a breath in through my nose and exhaling it through my nose. If you feel stuffy in any way, you can always part the lips, okay? So again, you'll take a breath in a breath out. Maybe you tap your other finger. So I'm going to just be quiet for the next minute or so that you can concentrate on just inhaling and exhaling. Right, and tap your finger. If you start to forget what number you're at, just start over, right? Let yourself be super supple as you just concentrate on the breath. So again. If your mind starts to take over, because it will, right? It just needs a job. So ask it if it can just observe what you're doing by counting the breath, right? So it'll get you lost in thought, and that's what it's supposed to do, right? It does do that. Just gently guide it back and ask it to continue to breathe with you, even if you have to start all over again, right? It's just noticing the thoughts, maybe just acknowledging them, right? So they don't tug at you. And then come back to your breath, right? Inhaling and exhaling. Just a couple more. When you're ready, just let the counting go and just notice, right? Notice your body in space. Again, same thing. Is it moving forward or back? Can you come back to that center spot for you? Maybe set an intention for our practice. I like to place my hands over my heart center. It's just a grounding mudra. If that doesn't make you feel comfortable, just keep your hands down on your lap or the mat. And just noticing for a moment, right? Allowing yourself to be where you are today, right? Every day feels like a different day, and that's okay. So I always just choose a word that helps me through the practice. It can be really simple, like just being present or just having gratitude, right? Whatever that is. And if you're already working with a sentence or a mantra or a word, you can maybe repeat it and see if you can come back to it to keep you here on the mat today. You'll take one more breath in, one more breath out. And when you're ready, if your eyes were soft or closed, you can start to bring in the light and flutter the eyes open. Good. And let's start in a seat. So if you were lying down, begin to just draw your knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice big hug. And then when you're ready, maybe you rock over to one side or the other and then gently find your way into a seat. So I've had my legs crossed in this manner for a little bit. So I'm just going to lean back and switch the crossing of my legs. So I'm a little bit more comfortable, but it may feel completely opposite of what it feels like normally when we do sit down. And that's okay, right? We're just helping our brain just notice the difference and maybe stay here for a couple rounds of breath. So ground down through your seat, even float your hands out to the side like this, relax your shoulders, then extend the arms out, right? Relax the shoulders again. Notice if you're leaning forward or back, right? So get to your center. We're all different. So you just don't want to be all the way back or all the way forward because it'll start to bother your back. So once you're ready, again, you'll start to extend those arms out to the sides, relax the shoulders, and let's see how our neck feels today. So draw your chin into your chest. It can be really gentle, right? You can stay just like this and notice the gentle neck stretch. And then if you're ready, you can start to wave the head from left to right. And these are all options, right? You can stay with whatever feels comfortable for you today. I'm going to draw my chin in towards my heart and start to take my left ear to my left shoulder, relaxing my arms down. Maybe I bring them in just a little bit and continue to relax the shoulders down. You have the option of taking your left hand and bringing it to the top of the head to gently give it a little press. right? Not too hard. And then start to walk your right fingertips away. See how that feels, right? So we're stretching the side of the neck and the muscles, right? So one more breath here. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Return your hand back, chin to chest. Notice it, right? Sometimes we can get the chin to come a little bit further towards the heart. And then take the right ear to right shoulder. Relax the shoulders down, right? So same thing. Maybe you take your right hand to the top of the head here and see how it feels. Deep breath in and out. And if it feels okay, you can continue to extend that hand out just a little bit and then soften it out. Good. Relax your hands, chin to chest. Before we take it any step further, you're going to keep your head here and maybe just hug opposite elbows here, right? Just to see how that feels as we draw those shoulders down the back. Good. One more breath here. Relax your arms. Inhale, bring the head back up to neutral. Good. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, let's take our twist to the left, right? So remember that back hand is actually helping to support you as it lengthens your spine. And you're going to look straight ahead or over your shoulder, depending on how that feels for you today. Good. And listen carefully. We're just bringing our back arm across to make this little X. Even if your hands can't touch your legs here, it's okay, right? They can be further in or whatever feels comfortable. You're going to start to dome your spine like a Halloween cat. And then inhale, open your chest, look up. Exhale, round your spine, right? Let's just see how our back body is feeling today. One more inhale up. Exhale, round. Good, you'll come back up. My arms are in this little X. Either I'm gonna hug my elbows, my shoulders, or take a hold of your hands, right? We're going into eagle arms to stretch out our shoulder blades a little more. So you'll inhale, arms all the way up. Exhale, elbows into your chest as again you round the spine. Two more. Inhale up. Exhale, round. Good. One more. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, round it in. Good. Arms will extend all the way up. Maybe they even touch. Hands come back to heart center. Your left arm's going to go down. Start to reach over and extend with your right. So my left arm's super soft and I'm not lifting my bottom up. I'm just getting an extension from my hip to my fingertips and just taking a stretch here. And then when you're ready, press down, arms come back up, relax the shoulders, right? We don't want to live all the way here. You just want to be nice and soft. And then twist to the other side. Same thing. This time my right fingertips and arm are going to help lengthen my spine so I'm not rounding. Big breath here. And a nice exhale out through the mouth or your nose. So that softens your shoulders. Bring that back hand all the way across, right? We're again in this little X. We're rounding the spine and inhaling to try to get a little cat-cow here, right? Two more. One more. Good, you're gonna do the same thing, either hugging opposite shoulders or taking a little bind here for eagle pose, right? So you're inhaling up, exhale, relax. Two more, right? Inhale and exhale. This gives us a little massage in our shoulder blades. One more, inhale, arms up, exhale, round. Good, you're gonna unravel those arms. Same thing, try to stretch them up, bring them down. You're gonna go to this side now, right? So right hand comes down and you're just giving yourself a little stretch for a breath here. Good, and then gently come back up. Hands to heart center. You're gonna lean back and start to extend the legs. So I'm gonna turn around so you can see me. You're just gonna extend the legs, give yourself a little shake from left to right. So when you're ready, start to extend the legs out. We're going into staff pose, right? So staff pose is when the legs are completely extended. You're pressing your feet to an imaginary wall. Your fingertips are gonna help lengthen your spine, right? So we get this nice stretch through the back of our legs. So take a deep breath here and exhale. So you're softening a little, but still keeping the extension in those legs, right? So one more time, inhale to lift and exhale softens. You bend the legs a lot, right? Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Maybe you can touch your toes. If you can't, bend more, right? We can all touch our toes if we bend the legs a lot. When you're ready, you'll press those legs even further forward, depending on how it feels for you. Maybe you lean in a little more. So we don't want to round the spine. We just want to extend from the heart center. And here you are. This is a nice extension of our hamstrings. So you'll take a breath or two here. Good. Re-stretch those legs out. Shake it out. Let's bend our right leg. Give it a little hug in. Right? So maybe you're here. You can stay here if that feels good. My left leg's super extended still, so I'm still getting a nice stretch through the back of those legs. If you want a little more, you can take your right foot across the left and give it a little hug again. Staying here, right? So we don't want to round the spine. We're just giving ourselves a nice lengthening in the spine. Good, and then we can take a little twist if that feels good for you today. Extending your arms up, I'm going to twist to my right and give my right leg a little hug as I just begin to turn and twist to the right. So I'm getting a little bit of a twist in my upper back here. Good, one more time. Good, when you're ready, your arms will come up and then you'll take a counter twist, right? It'll feel a little tight and congested, and that's okay. See if you can just lean over just a little bit to get a little more of a stretch. Get your right leg to come into your right elbow and take a breath. Good, and then when you're ready, you're coming all the way back up, re-stretching your legs out. One more seated forward fold. So that means I'm going to bend my legs again, stretch forward. That way if my back's bothering me, this is going to be really helpful so that my hamstrings are not so tight. Nice breath in, nice breath out. Good, same thing we're going to do on the other side. So I'm going to hug in my left leg, pressing through my right, and I'm going to either stay right here if this feels good for me today, or begin to take your left foot to the outside of your right leg. Same thing, maybe I'm staying here today. Good. When you're ready, inhale, extend those arms up. Exhale, give your leg a hug as you extend through your back body, right? Press through your right foot, look straight ahead or over your shoulder if that's accessible today, right? Depends how we feel. If our back's bothering me, right, my back is bothering me a little today. So you want to just stay neutral with the spine. So I'm not doing too much twisting. Good, one more breath here. Good, and then slowly come back. You'll do your counter twist, right? So extend those arms back up and twist to the other side. Doesn't have to be very much. You're just getting a little bit of a turn in the upper body, hugging my left leg into my arm. Good, arms come back up. Re-extend everything, and now you can decide, right? Do I want to stretch out all the way? If not, still continue to bend the legs and then maybe tap your toes. If not, you can stay right here, right? And one more breath. And exhale draws you back up. This time we're going to go into butterfly legs. So the soles of the feet are going to touch. Either you stay in diamond, right, where your legs are out a little more, or you'll come forward and you'll take a hold of your ankles as you draw your heels towards your groin muscles. So again, same thing starts to happen. I start to round my spine. I'm going to hold my ankles and draw my heart and chest forward. Again, either staying here, which is fine, or you start to walk yourself forward, right? So we're going to get in to those muscles of our inner thighs. Those are called adductor muscles, right? Our groin muscles. If it just feels like it's too much, stay upright with your spine. Only if it feels okay, come forward. Same thing, right? Can I keep my spine elongated for a breath? And then just let yourself go. It's okay to round. Okay, when you're ready, slowly come back up. We're going to windshield wipe our legs, right? So that means my feet are coming as wide as my mat, and I'm just going to sway them from left to right, right? This is really helpful for our hip joints. It's actually really helpful for the low back. So anytime maybe you feel a little tightness in the low back, this is really helpful. And only when you're ready, you're going to cross-legged your shins and slowly come up to table. So I'm going to turn around so you can see me. So we're going to go right into our cat-cow, right? So we know that's so super important for our digestive tract, really helpful for our spine. So when you're ready, hands are spread open like starfish, wrists are under your shoulders, knees are under hips, tops of the feet grounded down to get us started, right? So if we put a cup of tea on our spine, it would not spill over. I'm looking directly at the top of my mat. When you're ready, begin to tuck the toes, soften the front of the belly, look up. We have an arch in the spine. Exhale, release the toes. Round your spine. Dome your back like a Halloween cat, right? Start to move your head a little from left to right. Same thing. Tuck the toes. Look up. Exhale, round your spine. So you'll move just like that, tucking your toes, softening the front of your body, looking up. Exhale, round your spine. Good, one more time, just like that, tucking the toes, looking up. Exhale, round the spine. Now we're gonna add on. We're gonna come into a child's pose, right? I'm doming my spine and shifting my hips all the way back. Taking a child's pose, stretching those arms out, dropping my head. Maybe it taps down, maybe it doesn't today. Hands come back to your cat-cow. Rounding into cat. Pressing myself back into child's pose, stretching my arms out. Good, one more time. Bring yourself back to table. Cow. Cat. Child's pose. Stretch your arms out. Good, you're doing one last one. Back to table. Cow. Cat. Melt it back. Extend the arms. This time we're going to come up just a little bit so we can take a different type of child's pose, right? So the knees are as wide as the mat. Begin to melt your hips back as you stretch your arms forward, right? Maybe I'm pressing my hands all the way forward and I keep my head in between my arms. If you want, you can drop the head down and continue to stretch your fingertips forward and pull your hips back. If you want, relax your arms down, and you're gonna stay here for 3 rounds of breath, right? So at any point, if you feel really tired, you can always stay in child's pose, right? Or anytime you need a rest, you can drop your knees and take a break. So just one more breath here. Slowly come back. We're gonna work on thread the needle, right? So sometimes we work on it through table, but today we're gonna do it through a wider child's pose. So my hands are right under my face. My right arm's gonna go all the way up and expand and open. Inhale here. Exhale, right arm goes under my left arm and my head comes down. You can take your left hand and press yourself to the right a little more so you can get a little more of a spine twist here. One more breath. Gently come all the way back. Extend those arms forward. Press the hips back and breathe. Good, when you're ready, come all the way back, right? So we're gonna do the other side. So this time my left arm goes all the way up. Threads under my right arm, left ear down. My right hand's gonna come by my face. I'm gonna press myself gently to the left so I can get a little bit of a twist there. Good. And then when you're ready, you'll slowly come back up. Take one more stretch here. Good, then begin to bring yourself back to table. We'll do one more or two cat-cow. So let's make it a little bit different. Let's bring our hands out to the sides or bring your fingertips in towards your knees, right? So this is a forearm stretch. If this does not feel good, come back to our traditional table, right? So whatever works for you, see how it feels today. You can always test out by just flipping the palms and then changing our minds and bringing it back, right? You always have options. And when you're ready, tuck those toes, look up. Exhale, round the spine, drop your head, dome your back. One more. Tuck the toes, look up. Exhale, round your spine. Good, come back to neutral, flip your hands. We're gonna take our first downward dog. So remember, those hands are slightly forward. Begin to tuck your toes. You press the earth away as you shift yourself up and back into an upside down V. You're gonna start to pedal out your legs, drop your head, right? You can move it from left to right. You can bring your feet in, right? Maybe I'm grounding my heels down today. Maybe I'm not. You never want those elbows to splay out because it'll hurt our shoulders. So just press through your hands, drop your head and pedal it out, right? Each down dog gets a little bit nicer because we're starting to stretch the muscles in the back of the legs. So one more breath here. Then you can start to come into plank, right? So I have to wiggle my toes out a little bit to come into plank. We press through your heels, right? So it's better to keep our back up with our bottom than actually coming all the way down because it'll hurt our spine. and our low back. So you'll stay here for our breath. Drop to your knees, back to a child's pose. Drop your head, relax everything, right? So let your shoulders drip forward, right? So no work in the arms when we are resting. So one more breath here. You can always inhale through your nose, out through your mouth. And then when you're ready, you'll take yourself back up and we'll start to just flow forward, right, into a modified up dog. So that just means, actually, let's first go into an extended puppy stretch, right? So that means my arms are extended forward, my toes are tucked for traction. I'm sending my hips back as I drop my head in between my arms. Then begin to shift the hands closer to you as you extend and open the chest up, right? So remembering the tops of my feet are grounded, and then I'm coming back, just going back and forth. With your own breath, we'll do 2 more. One more. Good. On this next one, we're going to bring those hands in a little bit closer. We're going to go into knees, chest, chin. So my toes are tucked. It's exactly that. Knees come forward. My elbows push back as my chest and chin try to top the earth. I slither through like a snake. And here you are for baby cobra. Forehead down. Let's realign all of our body parts again so we can get into that foundational pose, right? So our hands are by our sides. We're stretching our legs out. I'm grounding down through my hip points to protect my low back. When you're ready, inhale, pressing into my hands to lift up to look at the top of my mat. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lifts you up. Exhale, softens you down. One more. Inhale, lifts you up. Exhale, relaxes you down. Make a little pillow for your head. Start to windshield wipe those legs from left to right. That way this helps with our low back too. And then when you're ready, same thing. Our hands are by our chest, stretching our legs back. And you're gonna come up a little bit higher, right? And then exhale, release it down. This time our hands come outside of our mats, right? Little tented spider fingers, elbows are up, forehead down. Same thing, I'm gonna stretch out my legs. Maybe my big toes point towards one another, and I press through my hip points. When you're ready, inhale, lifts you up. Look at the top of your mat. Exhale, relax. 2 more, inhale, lifts you up. Good, exhale, relaxes you down. Last one, inhale, lifts you up. And exhale, softens you down. Same thing, pillow for my forehead, rock out my legs so that my low back feels happy. Good, now we're gonna come into Sphinx pose, right? So with Sphinx, we're up on our forearms here, right? So I'm not sinking in, I'm pressing through my arms, right? Stretching my legs out. It's a little bit of a back bend, so you're gonna draw those elbows back, pretending energetically to draw them back. They're not really moving, but I'm drawing my shoulder blades towards one another. Good, breath in. Breath out. When you're ready, you'll take a breath in and turn your head to the right. Exhale. Over to the left. Back to the other side. One more time on each side. Slowly with control, let that all go down. Again, forehead relaxes, legs shake from left to right. So we're gonna take a quadricep stretch here, right? So here we go. You're going to bring your left hand across the mat like this, and I'm actually gonna keep my head down. So forehead is down, I'm gonna start to bend my right leg. Maybe you catch it with your hand and you're here, right? I can feel a pretty nice quadricep stretch here. If you want, you can start to move your hand under your chest and get a little more of a stretch. So you get a quadricep stretch here and see how that feels. So take a deep breath in, a deep breath out. One more time. Slowly with control, let that leg go. Relax yourself all the way back down. Windshield wipe the legs from left to right. So same thing, except we're lifting ourselves up, bringing the right arm across our mat. Left leg comes down. Maybe I start pretty low just to make sure my back's happy. Maybe your left hand taps the top of your foot, and you can stay here if you want. If you want more, you can slowly walk your hand back in towards your heart and hold on to your leg, getting a quadricep stretch, right? Good, take a breath in, a breath out. One more. Release that leg. Slowly come down, forehead down. We're gonna take a full quadricep stretch in a bow pose. So both my legs are going to bend in this manner. If you don't want to, you can stay here. If you want to try, you'll catch both of your feet and stay here. If you want, you'll press into your feet and lift your chest and neck and come into a bow pose, right? And take a breath here. It'll be harder to breathe. Good, and then slowly let that go when you're ready. Little pillow for your cheek or your head, and just rock from left to right. And then when you're ready, we're gonna come all the way back, taking a child's pose with knees together, right? And I'm coming into like a little bit of a rock here. So my forehead goes down, my arms relax, my shoulders drip forward. So take a moment, right? If you need to come into a kneeling meditation, we're just gonna take 5 rounds of breath here, right? So see what makes you feel better. Does it feel better to be up here, relaxing my shoulders, or does it feel better to come all the way down? You test it out. I'm just gonna grab my water. Good, one more breath. All right, so here we go. When you're ready, we're coming back to downward facing dog. If you don't wanna do downward facing dog, that's okay. You can do puppy stretch, right? So I'm just moving my legs back, tucking my toes, extending my arms, dropping my head, right? Here's down dog on our knees. If you want down dog, you bring your hands slightly back, right? Begin to tuck your toes, shift your hips up and back, and start to pedal those legs out, right? So same thing, let's see how it feels. Drop your head. Good. On your next breath, start to walk your hands to the back of your mat. So I'm gonna move forward so you can see me a little more. So here you are, you're at the back of your mat in a forward fold, bend your legs a lot, drop your hands, drop your head. Good. Inhale for a flat back. This is where our fingertips meet either our shins or our upper thighs. Exhale, forward fold. 2 more. Inhale, lengthens you. Exhale, forward fold. 1 more time. Inhale. Exhale. From here, bend your legs so much you're gonna press down into your feet and start to roll yourself up like a rag doll arriving at the back of your mat. So I'm gonna move myself back a little so you can see me. So here you are in mountain pose, right? So begin by lifting all 10 toes up, regrounding them down, soften through your shoulders, right? So take a breath here. Maybe you even close your eyes here. So this is a really great way to practice balance, right? So if you close your eyes, you plug your feet into the earth, using all 4 corners of your feet, there'll always be swaying, right? But it'll help ground you down, meaning that I'm not gonna sway so much forward and back without controlling it because I'm super grounded through my feet. And close your eyes one more time. Good, 1 more breath. Inhaling through your nose and exhaling it out. So we're gonna make our way back down using a sun breath. So inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Bend all the way, drop your head, hands to the ground because I'm bending my legs so much. Inhale for a flat back. Exhale, forward fold. So you're at the back of your mat. You're gonna walk yourself back to downward dog, pedaling out your feet. 1 more breath. Drop to your knees. And let's play with lunge, okay? So you're gonna step your right leg forward, sliding back on my left, right? So if your knees bother you, just double up your mat, right? So when you're ready, you can be here, you can be here, or you can be all the way up here. Relax your shoulders, right? So here's your low lunge. Taking a deep breath here, and a deep breath out. If you want, right, we're gonna take our arms behind us first, hugging opposite elbows, right? Maybe you're here. This will play with your balance, right? I'm definitely swaying left to right, but I'm plugging through my front foot here. You can even interlace your hands and extend the fist down your back so you can open your chest, right? These are all options. You don't have to do them if they don't feel good. When you're ready, inhale, arms up. Exhale them forward. We're gonna go into eagle arms here, right? So if my right leg is forward, I'm gonna start with my left arm underneath, right? And I'm hugging my shoulders in. Good. Maybe you take full eagle arms. When you're ready, inhale, arms up. Exhale, round it in. This is testing your balance out, right? Inhale, arms up. Exhale, round it in. One more. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, round it in. Now, super careful. Start to unravel those arms, drawing them all the way up. Relax the shoulders. When you're ready, runner stretch. So remember, runner stretch, you're just inhaling to come forward. Exhale releases you back, right? So be careful with your knee here. My knee's kind of bothering me because I'm on wood floors. You guys have carpet, so it's a little softer. Good, one more breath. Inhale, arms and chest forward. Exhale, release back. When you're ready, bringing this right leg back, we're gonna work on that knees, chest, chin again, right? So that'll be our little flow. So when you're ready, those arms are not all the way forward like they are for dog, they're slightly back. My toes begin to tuck. Come forward for knees, chest, chin, slither through, baby cobra. Exhale, forehead down. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, release. Press yourself all the way back. Down dog. Paddle out the feet, drop the head. Right, so each dog gets a little different, right? Maybe we notice our left leg super tight because we haven't really stretched it out yet. When you're ready, drop to your knees. Left leg comes forward, right? Sliding back on my right leg. You decide, where do I want to be? Maybe it's here on this side. Maybe it's all the way up here, but relax the shoulders down for a breath. Decide, do you want to hug opposite elbows here? Do you want to draw those hands down towards your bottom and open up the chest? This will test my balance, right? I'm sort of rocking a little from left to right, but grounding down through my front foot and opening up my chest, looking straight ahead. Good. And then let's play here. So my right arm's going to go underneath, right? Hugging opposite shoulders. And then you decide, do I want eagle arms on this side? Maybe. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, round. Definitely different on this side for me. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, round it in. One more. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, round it in. When you're ready, you'll unravel those arms. Big breath here. Exhale, runner stretch. So be super careful, right? Each side feels different. We want our hips to be square, facing forward. I have to slide back because my knee's bothering me just a little, so feel free to make any adjustments that help us feel more comfortable, right? So you're gonna do one more like that. Good. When you're ready, you'll take your left leg all the way back, take a break, child's pose, dropping our head. You can be in kneeling meditation if that feels better. So feel whatever feels comfortable for you, right? Nice deep breath in, deep breath out. One more time. Good. When you're ready, we're going back to downward dog. Hands slightly in front of those shoulders, tuck your toes. Bring yourself back, downward dog. Paddle out the feet. So just stretch it out. Same thing. We're gonna walk our hands to the back of our mat. So again, we're in the back of the mat in a forward fold. Bend your legs a lot. When you're ready, I'm gonna move forward so you can see me a little more. We're gonna come into a tiny little toe squat. So that means I'm coming up onto my toes, trying to play with balance, right? So maybe I can't and I have to keep my hands here, and that's okay. What's gonna help you is if you can just envision drawing your knees together, right? Because what's gonna happen is they wanna come apart, and that's when our balance is compromised. So gently begin to walk yourself up right? With the head shining up. And I'm squeezing my knees together. Maybe you play with your hands to heart center, right? If you have to tap down, feel free to tap down. So you're just playing with balance, right? So here you are. We're gonna sun breath our hands. So inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. One more time. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, hands to heart center. When you're ready, forward fold. Good. Again, pressing into those feet, rising all the way up, super slow. Let your shoulders arrive, and then the head, and then relax it down. Okay, so here we are. We're at the top. You can either be at the back or the top, doesn't really matter. We're gonna play with eagle legs now. So we're gonna bring it all together. We're gonna do eagle arms, eagle legs, and bring it together. We can play with splits. You can play with crow. So you'll feel really good in your legs, so you'll be able to play with everything. You guys decide. And of course, you're gonna take 10 minutes at the end to do Shavasana. And I can stop my video so that you know you'll have those extra 10 minutes, and even 15 if you want, to rest with your bolster, okay? So when you're ready, you'll ground down through your left leg and begin to slowly, first let's do tree. That way you can feel pretty stable and grounded, right? So here's your tree, or here's your tree, right? Never jamming our hip out like that, right? Maybe it's here, right? This is where you can play arms extended out. You can play with arms extended up. Relax your shoulders, right? Open up the arms nice and wide. You can pretend you have branches, right? Those are your branches through your arms, and they're swaying. If you want to challenge yourself more and it feels good today, maybe you close your eyes, right? It really changes everything. Just take a moment. Good. And then if you want, instead of tapping the leg down, start to draw it up and hug it in, opening up the chest, right? My left hand's going to come to my heart. I'm going to start to open up my leg and close it. Open and close. If you need to tap down, tap down. My right fingers, right, peace fingers are going to try to grab my toe, and I'm going to try to extend my leg out and bring it in. So I'm going to try not to round, just extend, bring it in. If you want, you can extend arms and legs. Come back and drop it. Good job. Let's shake it out. Let's do the other side. So ground down through your right. Same thing. Little kickstand to start us off, right? Be super grounded here. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Good. And then decide what feels good on this side, right? Our balance is always off, right? One day it's good and one day it's not. And that's okay. We're just going to be wherever our body wants us to be today, right? And if it feels good to come up, feel free, right? Maybe you extend your branches. Maybe you close your eyes, or not on this side for me. Good. One more breath. Good. This is where you can play, right? One hand to my heart, one arm hugging in, maybe both hands hug. Inside of my arm, my peace fingers are coming to get my toes. So I am rounding a little, then I'm straightening my spine, extending my leg out and in, right? So it's a lot on the standing leg, so be gentle. And then you decide, do I want to extend it all out? And then bring it back in and let it go. Good, shake it out. Shake, shake, shake. Shake it all out. All right, so let's play with eagle legs and arms, right? We'll put it all together. So let's first come into like a little baby chair pose, right? So with chair pose, we always want to make sure we can see our toes, right? So I'm going to show you from the side. We always want to see our toes. We don't want them to look like this because this will really hurt my shins and my heels. So they look like this, right? See how it feels? Your hands come down. So we'll stay here for a breath. My knees are together. Deep breath in here. Deep breath out. One more. Gently come up, shake that out. Good. So we have a little bit of a chair pose here. So I'm going to do it from the side so you can see me, and then I'll do it from the front. So I'm going to start with my right leg over my left, right? So here I am. Looks like this. Looks like this, right? You can wrap completely. I cannot without falling over. So I'm going to stay here. Little chair pose. Right leg over left. You're here. Right? Relax the shoulders. So now my right leg's on top, so I'm gonna use my left arm on top, right? So my arms will come forward, my right's going underneath, my left's going on top, and you're here, right? So here is our eagle pose, looks like this, right? Then you'll start to extend up. And elbows coming towards the center as you round your spine. 3 more, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more time, inhale. Exhale. Then you allow yourself to release and shake it all out. Let's do a sun breath in between. So I'm gonna come to the side so you can see me. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center as you dive down. Drop your head, bend your legs, release. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep those arms all the way out and up. Palms touch. Exhale, hands to heart center. Same thing, little bend in my legs, right? Just like I'm doing chair. This time my left leg goes over my right. You can wrap if that works for you as long as your hips stay grounded. Right arm comes on top, right? So here I am. Looks like this. I'm not turning my hips, right? That would be really unhealthy for those hips. Right arm on top. When you're ready, inhale, arms up. Exhale, round it in. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, round it in. 1 more time. Inhale. Exhale. Good. As you inhale again, you'll come up like you're flying and let it go. Great. Eagles, guys. Okay, so let's make our way down. How about we do pigeon on both sides, and then we can play with whatever postures you guys want to play with. So when you're ready, inhale, arms up. Exhale, dive forward, bend your legs. Tap the earth, drop your head. Inhale for a flat back. Stretch out those hamstrings. Exhale, relax. Bend the legs, step it back. Down dog. Good. When you're ready, we're going to lift our right leg up. Down dog split. Right knee comes into your right wrist. I'm going into pigeon, right? So that means my front leg is forward but does not have to be straight. What has to be straight are my hips and my back leg extends. You can come all the way down, right? If not, you can stay up. So here you are, you're in your pigeon pose, right? Just helping our hips out. We're not rocking to the right. I'm gonna make double fists to make a little bit of a pillow for myself as I drop my forehead down. You can stay here trying to keep your hips square. We don't wanna go to the right or the left. Take a breath, release it all. Last time. And slowly come back, extending your pigeon, right? Begin to top your left leg, relax your right, back to down dog to stretch it out, pedal it out. When you're ready, the left leg lifts, the left knee to your left wrist. Same thing, I'm extending that leg back, right? Maybe this front leg can't straighten all the way on the side, and that's okay. I'll stay up here, right? Only if it feels comfortable. You can come all the way down, right? So this is an outer hip stretch, so you'll start to feel it through the hips. We want to make sure you're not rocking all the way to the left or all the way to the right, just staying square. Again, double fists for your little pillow for your forehead if you want it. If not, you can surrender all the way to the earth. 3 rounds of breath. When you're ready, we're going to come all the way back up to a proud pigeon with those extended arms. Bring the leg back, one last downward dog, paddle it out. All right, so now this is your opportunity to play. So we have about 5 minutes, because then we're going to go into Shavasana for the last 5 minutes. So I'm going to give you a couple of options. I know you guys love splits, you love crow, you love wheel. Remember, no flipping backwards. Be super careful with the neck. So if you want, I'm gonna show you just a modified split, right? So I normally double up my mat. I start to bring my right leg forward as if I'm going into a lunge, right? So it looks like this. Then I start to extend it out, keeping my fingertips to the earth as I stretch it forward, right? So maybe you guys have a more extended split, and that's okay. For us, you know, certain people can't do these, and that's okay. So I kind of like to do a nice modified one where my knee is being protected and my hands are either under blocks or at the earth, and I'm still getting a pretty nice hamstring stretch. Then to pull out of it, right, I help myself come all the way back, and I switch sides, right? And you can always pause the video if you need more time to stay in each of these postures a bit longer. My hips stay square, just getting a stretch behind my legs, and then gently come back, right? And then you decide, right? So this is a great opportunity to play with Malasana, right? So remember Malasana, right? Our legs come a little wider. I'm coming into this position. I'll show you from this side so you can see that my heels are up and just playing with my inner thighs falling onto my arms, right? Maybe you're here and you just sort of play. I never look underneath. You can use a pillow for your head. You can just look at the top of your mat the whole time as you hug those arms in to your legs, right? And I'm just kind of coming up and down, right? And you're here. So you can play with crow in that manner. And then if you want, you can do wheel, you can do plow. I love plow with my mat protecting my neck. We've talked about that, right? Where we bring ourselves all the way down. So I have this at my nape of my neck. I'm drawing my knees into my chest first, give myself a little rock. Then you can start to lift yourself up if that feels comfortable, right? And then maybe the toes come behind you for plow. I know you guys like this one. Whatever feels good. Drawing ourselves back, slowly coming back. A little wiggle, left to right. And then we'll take a twist, right? So take a twist when you're done playing. Again, you can pause the video at any point. So you can play. So I'm gonna come to sit up. I would definitely pause it to get all of the things you need, right? So remembering Shavasana is our final pose. It's where we are gonna rest for 10 rounds of breath. I love to have a bolster under my legs. You guys have bolsters there, so that's really helpful. You can sit up the way that I'm sitting up. Sometimes seated meditation is really helpful. So again, pause it, make sure you're playing with your poses. And then I'm going to walk you through a body scan. So that way you can walk yourself into Shavasana. This is probably the best part if you want to put music on and stay here for 5 to 10 minutes. I'm gonna do 15 rounds of breath. You don't have to count them. I'm gonna do that for you, right? So I'm gonna sit up. My hands are going to be grounded on my legs. Taking a deep breath in and out. You can even cup your hands. So remember, you can be any way you want, right? If you want to lie down, it's gonna be great. If you want to sit up, it's fine. As long as you get yourself into a comfortable posture, right? So whatever works for you. And we'll begin. You'll start to soften your eyes if that feels comfortable. And doesn't mean you have to close them, right? Softening means I can look down and I can look up at the ceiling if I'm lying down. And start to envision yourself lying on the mat, right? It's our safe space, it's comfortable. And start to close our eyes and drop our head. Relax your shoulders, right? So this is, again, where we can visualize those gorgeous roots growing from this beautiful, grounded, stable tree, right? It starts at the crown of our head. So as we do that, our face starts to soften. All the muscles of the face relax. Your shoulders relax. They tap down on the earth. Relax your shoulders even more, so that way our heart releases, right? And it has this big, beautiful light expanding up to the sky, to the world, right? As those shoulders and back body continue to get these gorgeous roots down into the earth. Continues through your bottom, your legs, your toes, everything softens. And you give yourself one more scan, just head to toes. And I know this gets pretty difficult, right? Because we're asked to be with our thoughts. We're asked to lay here, which is very challenging for me some days. So I come back, right? Not only am I grounded through these gorgeous roots behind my back, but now I'm going to bring in a mantra, right? Simple. I breathe in. I breathe out. I breathe in. I breathe out. Okay, try that 2 more times. If you feel like it's not settling you, pick a different mantra, right? I inhale. I exhale. So you'll stay like this for the next 10 rounds of breath. Again, mentally stating to yourself, I breathe in. I breathe out. Begin to bring your awareness back to the surface without changing anything. You're just going to deepen your breath. So take a deep breath in through your nose. Deep breath out. No movement, just noticing how the body, right, the physical body feels after practice. And maybe even the quality of our thoughts. And then start to welcome in small movements with our fingers and our toes. Maybe moving the head a little from left to right. And then pausing again. When you're ready, you'll start to extend the arms out and up if that feels comfortable. Maybe even interlacing your hands and drawing the arms and hands behind you, getting a little bit of a stretch like you're just waking up from a nap. Extending arms down, legs forward. If you want more, draw those knees into your chest. Give yourself a well-deserved hug. And then we're going to just end class on our backs, right? So your hands can come over your heart center. It's just a grounding mudra. If that does not feel comfortable, just allow the hands to be wherever they want to be, right? Earth, legs, heart. Just having gratitude for what our bodies just did for us this past hour. Having gratitude for the ability to move and breathe. And I have gratitude for allowing me to guide you. Namaste. Good job, guys. Sorry I can't be there, but I'm so happy I got to do this. And I'll see you soon.